Hello everybody and welcome back in In-Flightsim with me, and today we're going to be looking at a tutorial on how to start, taxi and take off in the Eurofighter Typhoon. As you can see here, we are in an 11 squadron aircraft at Coningsby. The scenery is from Aircraft Construction Group. I'll leave a link for it in the description below. I've got active sky running today. This is more just for your information than anything else, and of course we are using Dino Cattaneo's Eurofighter Typhoon. So, without me banging on anymore, let's go ahead and get this thing started up. So what I'll do is I'll set the aircraft up how it should be before the aircrew get to it, because normally the ground crew, they'll do some pre-flight switches for the aircrew anyway. So I'll go through that first, and then I'll go on to what the aircraft should be like when the aircrew do their checks and everything. So if we go inside, as you can see, the aircraft is in a complete cold and dark state at the moment. So what we'll do is, normally we do a sweep around the cockpit. So we start on the left, so we make sure the parking brake is on, which it is. We close the LP cock. We do tend to close them at the same time, that way they're done. We normally make sure that the weapon live train switch is in live. We want the laser to be in standby. The selective jettison should be in the program setting. We go ahead and turn on the displays. So when the pilot puts power on, these will all illuminate. We go ahead, the HEA vent, to turn that on. The same for the ECS and demist, I think that one is. Suit temp, that's normally an aircrew thing. We go ahead and make sure the nav light is on. And then that's pretty much it for how you would set it up before the aircrew get there. So we'll say now that we're the pilot. We've just got into the aircraft. We would have just done our straps up. And what first thing we'll go ahead and do is we'll just hit the gang bar, get everything on at the same time. That way we know we have power. And normally now would be we align the memo, so we're letting the LINs count down. It's getting the satellites to get a better signal on where we are at the moment. So while that's doing that, we'll go ahead and do some other stuff. We'll arm the seat. We will go ahead and make sure the generators are on. We'll go ahead and turn the transponder on, and the flare, HEA, and windscreen heater. And normally we'll turn the radar on now, and the radar will start to warm up. We'll also go ahead and press the VVR record. It's not really a model feature in the sim, but it's quite handy to know. Just in general. I'll go ahead and change this to 1003 today. That's what we are according to active sky. We'll go ahead and set in our bingo fuels. So for this, just for this example, we'll do 5, 4, 3 and 2. Then we know at 2 it's time to head back to base at least. We'll go ahead, personal preference whether you want that in a tactical format or the map format. I personally prefer it in the map format, but of course you don't have to. So now we'll go ahead and start the throttles. Start the engine, sorry. So start number 1. The aircraft is actually really simple to get going in real life. You know, it's really easy when you think about it. Not much in there. So that's number 1. Engine start and stabilize. Go ahead and start number 2. Let's go ahead and that's our suit temp there. And there we go, just make sure the throttles are at idle there. Okay, so now the engines are running, we would bring the canopy down now. Quite a high-pitched squeak that. It's not quite that high pitch in real life, but hey, it's only a simulation. So now that's done, we would signal to the ground crew that we want to enter FRS, which we can do by pressing the FCS switch down here. So you see the 4 planes moving back down. There we go, and then that's pretty much it. So now we've done that, we would get taxi clearance from the tower, and they would tell us where to go, etc. Seeing as though I'm not on VATSIM or anything like that, we'll just go under our own steam. So we'll go ahead down here and release the parking brake, and we would also flash the landing lights to the ground crew and let them know that we're ready to taxi. So start marshalling us out now. Down with the brakes.
VVR fail. VVR fail.
And we're off. So I'll pre-warn you now, I will apologise if my aircraft suddenly veers left or right. I've got a slight issue with my rudder pedals, but it's nothing massive. So now that we're clear of people, make sure nothing's coming, which it isn't, go ahead and turn the landing lights on and our strobes. And we just begin our taxi to the end of the runway before we do some last minute checks. And then we are good to go. So I'm in P3D version 4.5 today, with hotfix 2. I don't think I've got hotfix 3 yet. I'm not sure if it's compatible with TACPack at the moment, so I just have not upgraded just yet. Obviously this is, like I said before, this is Dino Cattaneo's Typhoon. So taxiing, we shouldn't go anything above 20 kDAS. The Typhoon has its own airspeed measurement. I don't know the exact conversion of it. It's not important for the simulation really, but all figures are referred to in kDAS in real life anyway. So we'll be looking probably to rotate about 140 knots. 140, 150, sorry, between there. So today we're not going to do a performance departure, we're just going to do a standard mil dry power. So it's important to make sure on our departure that we have the landing gear up before we hit 250 knots, or kDAS in this case I should say. Otherwise we'll start to get gear limit warnings in the cockpit. So coming up to the hold short here, the copy lights. Now I know in the sim the hold short is actually around here, but that's just a limitation of the sim rather than the scenery. If you put the hold short here, the AI traffic wouldn't interact with the tower then at that point. So go ahead and switch the parking brake on, which it is. Okay, so last minute checks we would do is we would turn everything else on. Next now that we're clear of people essentially, it's safe to do so. Providing what we're doing, we would change this to train. Normally that's only set to live if they're actually going to do any like strafing or launching a missile or dropping a bomb. Other than that, it's normally kept to train as a safety requirement. We can go ahead and select our first frequency, like navigation frequency. So I think Ottringham is 115.7, possibly. No, so it's the TNT. Sorry, VOR is 115.7. That's fine. Okay, so we're happy with that. Next, we'll go back to here. We will set the stopwatch. And we will go. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a roll and take off. There's no need to stop. So that's parking brake released. And now as we roll onto the runway, we'll go ahead and start the stopwatch. Make sure there's nothing coming. If there isn't, wouldn't expect, since I'm not on VATSIM or anything. So go ahead and start the timer now. You can see it's counting down, counting up here now. Okay, so we're stabilised on the runway now, and we can punch it. So got a bit of a crosswind. 140 knots. Pull back. Okay, coming up, and we're off. Now that we're picking up some airspeed, our nose will continue to climb. So we just want to make sure we don't end up going into too much of a steep climb. So now we're at the ground, we'll turn towards the first waypoint. And that's pretty much it for the startup, taxi and takeoff. It's pretty simple to do, nothing too much to it. I hope you found it interesting and informative. If you've got any questions, leave them down in the comments below, and I'll see if I can take a look at them. So until next time, I'll see you in Flight Sim again. See you later. Goodbye.